Hey guys, so today, following up on Metro X, I wanted to show you a different roll and write game made by the same company, which many, in the board game community would consider this a step up from Yahtzee. So rather than go straight into Metro X, which was admittedly kind of puzzly for someone new to board games, I'm going to show you all Qwixx. Now this is the deluxe version, which comes with 8 dry erase boards and markers, and it also lends itself to 2 ways to play. So the version that you're going to find normally at Target is going to be in a smaller box, and it's going to have a couple pads of paper as opposed to markers and these dry erase boards. It's also only going to have this this face version right here, the basic version, which is fine. But the deluxe version comes with this board variation, which I'll go over in a separate video. But right now we're going to just talk about vanilla Qwixx, which sounds like a candy bar. So like I said, this is a roll and write. The rolls are pretty simple. All we're going to try and do is on the player's turn. This game is typically played 2 to 8 players. If you do go to Target and get the paper version, you could theoretically play with any number of people. You would just be passing the dice all around to 10, 12 groups of people. Sky's the limit as long as you're patient. But like I said, with the deluxe version, you're going to get dry erase boards. So what you're trying to do is pretty much try to maximize your score by having, I think at most 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. By having 11 X's, I mean, best case scenario, in each row. Thereby, it says you could get 12. That's interesting. So let me show you the anatomy of the board. So you're going to have colored rows with a lock on the right. I'll explain the lock in a sec. And then it's, like I said, you're trying to get a bunch of X's in each row, and then you're depending on the number of X's you get on each row, that's how many points you're going to score. So let's say I had 4 X's on the red row. Well, that would score me 10 points. And then, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This white part right here means subtractions. Whenever you cannot use a dice you've rolled, you're going to have to mark out an X. And this is also one of the ways that the game's going to end. If ever one person fills all these up, the game is going to end. Or if, let's see, or if 2 of these rows have been locked out, which again I'll get to later in a little bit. If 2 of these rows get locked out, then that's also another way that the game's going to end. You don't want to, every time it's your turn and you cannot use a dice that you've rolled, any number, then you're going to have to cross out an X, and every X is going to be minus 5 points. So it's going to be a number of rounds, again, depending on whoever fills out all these boxes first, or whoever locks out 2 rows. So I'm going to just get to the game at hand and then explain to you the rolls as we go. It's a really simple game. So all you're going to do is on your turn, you're going to roll all these dice. The game comes with 6 dice, red, yellow, green, blue. Notice how they match the board, and 2 white dice. So you're going to go ahead, roll your dice. And now, as the active player, you are going to announce the number that you rolled with the 2 white dice. So I would announce to everyone at the table 11. Now, let's say I was playing a 4-player game. The 3 other people around the table, including myself, would have a chance to mark down 11 on their dry erase board. Now you'll notice that red and yellow go 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, whereas green and blue go 12 to 2. This is important because whenever you mark out an X, so let's say I was foolish and didn't hear Charles explain the rules, and I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to use it. I'm going to mark out this red 11. Well, now you've pretty much locked yourself out to completing this row, because every number that you've marked off to the left of it cannot be marked off in future turns. So in a future turn, if I wanted to mark off another red, my only other option is this 12 here. Now, when it comes to locking the rows, you need to have at least 5 X's. Let me see, let me make sure that's correct. Yes. So, and what that does is that it locks that row out for the other players. Now, like I said, you're going to call out 2 white dice in the beginning of your turn. So if there is a chance that multiple people can use the number that you just rolled to lock out different rows. And if that happens, well, then the game's going to end sooner. So, okay, so we got 11. I'm going to go ahead and use this 11 for the blue row. So I marked off that. So that 12, if I ever get a blue 12, which I'll show you in a bit how that would happen. Well, that would suck for me. So I've pretty much locked myself out of ever getting a blue, for, having to cross out this blue 12. But that's okay, because I still have numbers 10 through 2 to, to try and mark off. So anyways, so after you do that, now as the active player, once everybody has decided whether or not they're going to use the 2 white dice, you're going to use one of the colored dice that you rolled plus a combination of either white dice. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and gonna go ahead and let's see, that's 9, a red 9, no, 10, no. So those white dice are pretty high, so that's not good. So my only options here are to either use the blue dice or the green dice, because they begin with high numbers. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the blue dice with the combination of the, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so I'm gonna cross out this blue 9. There you go. So then after that, that's the end of my turn. Next player would roll the dice, and it would keep on going. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a full game for you guys, and show you then the game scoring, and maybe show you how this locking mechanism works and whatnot. So let's see. Okay, so we got a 6. I am not going to use the white dice. So I'm going to use these separately. And you know what? We got a red 3 or a yellow 3. You know what? I like red, so let's go ahead and cross that out. Okay. And we're gonna keep going. And that's the flow of the game pretty much. So, like I said, this is a really simple game, so this is not gonna be the most action-packed game. 7. Which I might use for the blue. You know what? Yeah. Go ahead and use the 2 white dice. And now, let's see, we got 4. I think that's gonna have to do. Yeah, okay. So then we're gonna cross out a 4. Let's see. A lot of times I get my own dry erase markers because the markers in these games aren't that great. Which they're only like $2 at HEB, so not too bad. All right, anyways, now we're gonna roll again. Okay, so 11. No, what am I talking about? 10. Yeah, 10. Announce it to the table. Not going to use them. But I am going to use, yes, this combo to cross out the 11. Okay. And then we roll again. 8. Not going to use it. I do, no, not the blue. I'm gonna have to use this 3 right here. Okay. And then, let me see if I could zoom in a little bit for you guys. There you go. That's better. Okay. Nine. I think I'm gonna use it on this green. Okay. So now, oh, I messed up. I could have used that 10 right there. Yep, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, so, boy, okay. So, might use this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay. Now remember, I can't cross out any numbers in the row that are left of the rightmost X that I've made. So this 8, this 10, this 12, they're no good to me. Likewise in the green row, this 10 and 12, no good to me. All right, so let's grab these. 9. I'm not going to use it. I am going to use this 5. actually, I might use this. Or I actually might use this. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the 8 in the green row. Okay.